Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're talking about how I'm able to save over 30% of my income and practical steps to help you do the same. Now before we begin, I just want to share that I don't live some crazy lifestyle in order to accomplish this. I am just very intentional with my money in order to save this amount. 5 years ago, my wife and I were living paycheck to paycheck because we had so much debt and so many expenses to our name, and we realized that that wasn't going to work for us and that we needed to make some changes in order to get ahead. One disclaimer is that none of this is financial advice, so don't sue me. These are just some experiences that we have had in order to get ahead with our money. The first and most important is budgeting every dollar. Every time I get paid, I take that paycheck and I budget every single dollar to different budgeting categories. I use a tool called YNAB. It helps me out a lot. Dave Ramsey also has a tool called Every Dollar, and essentially it's just a tool to set up your monthly budget. But not only do you set up your budget every month, you actually log your expenses as they occur. So if I've budgeted, for example, groceries for $100, and then I go to the store and I spend $100 on groceries, I'm going to take out my phone, open up the budgeting tool app, and log that transaction. So now it shows that I've budgeted $100, but I've also spent $100 for groceries, and now it recognizes that I have no more dollars left in my grocery category. When you start budgeting every dollar, you start to see all the areas that you're wasting money. One personal example is that there was a Starbucks in the office that I worked at. Every single day around lunch, I would run down and grab a coffee. That was about $5 a day, which translated to about $100 a month. And while it's crazy to think I was spending $100 a month on coffee, because I wasn't even thinking about it and I was just swiping a credit card, I just totally forgot about all those transactions and I just paid the credit card bill at the end of the month. But once I started budgeting all of my dollars, I started to see how much of an impact that this was having on my finances. I've recognized that if I had to allocate $100 to my coffee fund every month, it was going to really hurt my paycheck, and I could do that for a whole lot cheaper. I started making coffee at home, and now I spend maybe $5 a month on coffee just simply by making it at home. But I wouldn't have made that change if I didn't actually start budgeting all of my dollars and seeing how much money I was spending on coffee. Now that's just one example that I'm sharing from my experience, but there could be a whole variety of examples that you may be missing if you're not budgeting every dollar. I will say that this is easier said than done. This is about 10% math and 90% behavior. It takes a while to get into the habit of budgeting every month and then logging those transactions. I'm going to be honest with you and say that my wife and I started this. We kind of gave up on it because we didn't adapt to that lifestyle, and then eventually came back about 5 months later after realizing how critical it is to actually budget every dollar. So again, it's 10% math, 90% behavior. If you stick with it, you'll get it, and it'll make it a tremendous impact on your finances. The second step that helps me save a lot of money is by price shopping for everything. I started by using Dave Ramsey's website. He is what's called an endorsed local provider. Essentially, if you're looking for, say, car insurance, you go into his website, punch in your zip code, and it will show you local providers that he has endorsed to provide car insurance. With this, I was getting the equivalent car insurance through this new company at the same cost of what I was using previously. But I didn't stop there with car insurance. I actually went as far as selling my BMW and driving a beater Honda Civic. Now, I took this somewhat extreme measure at the time because we went from having 2 incomes and no kids to 1 income with a child, so I was looking for every way possible to save on money. The BMW required premium fuel and was all-wheel drive and had higher insurance costs, whereas the Honda cost me next to nothing in terms of gas and insurance. So I would highly encourage you to go through your budget, especially after you've gone through and started budgeting every dollar and may have cut out some areas of your budget that you deemed unnecessary. Go through the rest of the areas and see if you can price shop to get better rates. And the third step you can take is increasing your income. I started budgeting every dollar, so I was able to cut out a lot of things out of my budget that I deemed unnecessary. Whatever was left, I started price shopping to get the most for my money, but then I realized in order to get ahead from here, I needed to actually increase my income. Now this is easier said than done, but let me explain 2 ways I was able to accomplish this. The first was I actually started a lawn care side hustle. I bought a lawnmower one day, was looking at it in the garage and thought, hey, how can I get this thing to pay for itself? Well, here I am 3 years later, and it seems like half the community knows that I do lawn care on the side, so I'm always being asked to pick up side jobs here and there, or even getting full contracts through the whole summer. Just yesterday, I was mowing my front yard, and someone pulls up and asks me to start edging their sidewalks, and it was just one extra job I was able to pick up. That took about 3 years to build up that reputation, but you start small and you'll eventually get somewhere. The area that I was really able to increase my income though was actually getting a new day job. I was an analyst for a company for a number of years, and just due to some financial situations with that company, they weren't giving out pay raises over the last several years. Well, I had gained a tremendous amount of experience from this company, and I was very grateful to my managers and to my team for that, but I recognized that with my growing family, I needed to increase my income, and in that situation, it meant leaving the company. I went and started interviewing at other companies and was able to find a promotion with another company. Now, when that initially happened, my wife and I were thrilled that we were able to increase our income. We'd never made that much money previously, and instantly we started thinking of all the things that we could buy with these dollars. After about 2 weeks, we let the dust settle and recognized we weren't actually going to touch any of this money. We're going to dedicate it to either paying off debt, saving, or investing. We didn't go through all that work just to spend the money at the mall. We did it intentionally in order to save it. So now, I know where every single dollar I have is going because I budget every dollar. And every dollar that I spend, I know I'm getting the most on because I've price shopped everything I'm spending on. From there, I recognized I was getting ahead incrementally, but by increasing my income through the lawn care side hustle and getting a new day job, I didn't have to just get ahead incrementally, I could get ahead exponentially. Just by taking these couple steps over the last couple years and staying dedicated to the process, I am able to now save over 30% of my income. And again, this isn't living some crazy lifestyle. We rent the current home that we're in, we drive 2 cars, we have 2 kids, we definitely have expenses, but by managing our money properly, we're able to get ahead. I hope you found this video helpful in taking some practical steps to get ahead with your own finances. One thing I'll just mention here at the end is that things don't happen overnight. So don't set up a false expectation that this is going to happen in no time. It took the pain of living paycheck to paycheck to recognize we needed to make a change, and then adapting our lifestyle to budget every dollar. From there, recognizing that I wanted to make the most out of every dollar, so I started price shopping. From there, I recognized that I needed to increase my income. So this was definitely a process that took time. So I don't want you to go ahead and think that this is going to happen overnight. Your expectation will really determine your success. If you expect it to happen over time and you stick with it, it will happen. If you expect this to happen for you next week, it's unlikely to happen. So have a proper set of expectations before you dive into this journey yourself, and I guarantee you that if you stick to it regardless, you'll end up getting ahead. I hope this video was able to help you. If you did, I ask that you please like and subscribe.